So now what we need to do is that we need to make a request. Therefore, in the views, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to import a new module here. I'm going to say import, and then I'm going to import a module called requests with an S. This requests module is a module that belongs to Python. You need to know that there is a difference between here, between request singular and requests plural. The plural one belongs to Python, and it allows you to make requests and get data from any API service. Whereas this request belongs to Django, which can be used inside Django framework to redirect you or take you from one page to another. So make sure that you differentiate between this and this, from between the requests plural and the request singular. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be using this requests plural in order to make a request. So here in the index, I'm going to say requests, and then I'm going to say .get. This is going to allow me to make a GET request, and then I'm going to pass here the URL, and then I'm going to store the result in a variable called response. So response is going to be equal to requests.get. So requests.get is going to make a request to the service, and then it's going to return a response, and it's going to be the response is going to be stored in the response. So now what we need to do is that we need to create the URL variable. So I'm going to say here URL, and it's going to be equal to the link that I have told you earlier to save in a safe place, to store in a safe place, which is this URL. So I'm going to copy this URL. And then I'm going to paste this URL here in this URL. I'm going to store it here in this URL variable inside double quotes. I'm going to paste it here. So make sure that the structure is correct here. Make sure again the structure is correct, and your API key exists at the end of that URL. Finally, I'm gonna pass this URL to the get function. I'm gonna pass it here. I'm gonna say URL. So let me explain this one more time. Here we have a URL variable, which is the URL that we need to use in order to make a request and get data from the service. Here, this line is to make a request, a GET request to the URL, to this URL, and this line is going to return a response. This line is going to return data, and the data that will be returned is going to be stored in the response. Pretty simple.